Welcome viewers to another segment of Budget in Focus. I am Stacey Carmichael and I'm joined by Minister of Social Protection, the Honorable Amna Ali. Good afternoon, Minister. How are you?
Good afternoon to you, Stacey, and fine, thank you.
Okay, Budget 2018. Some general comments from you, Minister Ali.
Well, I think that Budget 2018 is very appealing. You know, in a budget, you will not get everything that you want. And it depends on the economy and what we have, what we can afford, what we can do, what our program is. And so I am satisfied that allocations made in the National Budget 2018 has been a good one. And I'm more satisfied that my ministry has benefited with a fair portion of Budget 2018.
Okay, Minister. Now, you spoke about your ministry, social protection. It covers a wide range of areas.
Yes.
Pensioners, the biggest criticism for Budget 2018 is the $500 increase to pension. Yes. What do you have to say in response to that?
Look, it is always a good thing to give people more money. Sometimes money is never enough for people. I wouldn't say $500 is a lot of money and that we have given to the pensioners and so, but that is what we can afford. But apart from the actual money that we are giving, there are other concessions that the Minister of Finance has given, things like no payment for passports and so on, other concessions that were given. And I think that that is very good. Yes, I know that there have been a lot of rumblings about the $500, but look, if one can afford more, one will give more. I can tell you that many of the pensioners are satisfied and they are happy that they have received something. Agreed that it is not a whole set of money, but they are satisfied. But you know, addressing the rumblings, I have said in my budget speech, I've quoted what has been happening since 2003, where you have, and yesterday Minister Cathy Hughes was the first person who pointed out that you had $90 and $92 increase and so on in pensions. And it is so. You had $90, $92, $175, $300 on two occasions, and so on. And it was this coalition government, when we came to office in 2015, that we gave a significant increase of 49%. Well, to date, it's 49%. Like I said, it may sound as though it is not much. That is what the country can afford at this point in time. And we are concerned about our elderly, our pensioners. And as soon as our economy can afford it, we certainly will improve it. But I'm satisfied that since 2015, we've really raised the bar on pension, and our pensioners are benefiting more than ever.
Okay. In terms of the ministry, what are some of the plans going forward for 2018 in the various areas? You have domestic violence campaigns, yes. You have public assistance, so many areas that comes under social protection.
Now, first of all, social protection, the portfolio is very wide. And, but we conduct the business of the ministry under 4 programs. You have policy and administration, you have labor, you have child protection agency, and social services. And all programs are very, very active. I can tell you that our focus for 2018 are, we have several focuses. pensioners, trafficking in persons, domestic violence, taking care of our children, looking at difficult circumstances of people and so on. We deal with a variety of matters, and we are going to continue to focus on those things. Let us take trafficking in persons. We have first of all been moved up from Tier 2 to Tier 1. And that means that we have really satisfied the standards and so on. Now, we didn't do it alone. We did it in collaboration with the Jamaica Trafficking in Persons. The United States of America Embassy played a very important part. With networking with other agencies and so on, the police right here, we've been networking with them. And, you know, we have been able to reach this stage of the trafficking in persons. We want to really eradicate trafficking in persons because we feel that it is very inhumane, and we don't want our women and girls and even men to be trafficked. We want a nice, clean society where we can live comfortably, and so we are going to be doing everything possible to eradicate that scourge. In terms of domestic violence, that is a very sore point. Not only domestic, but domestic and sexual violence. And as you would have heard probably in my presentation this afternoon, I made mention of the establishment of a sexual offenses court. It is the first in the Caribbean, and they have also done guidelines and so on. And, you know, we are working towards that. We're working with a lot of awareness programs, and so that people can know what is happening and what we are doing, where we are heading with it, and that they will take note that the sexual offenses court has been established, and we will have little or none violence taking place, you know, in and around our country. Children are our treasure resources of this country. We really have to take care of our children. And we are doing quite a lot to keep our children going, to have a good life, a safe life, and so. Now, one of the things I said is that we are working towards creating a good welfare state in this country. We might not achieve it today, tomorrow, next month, next year, but we're working towards it, and that is why I love the theme that the finance minister has coined for Budget 2018, a journey. We're not saying that everything must happen now, but it's what we perceive to happen, you know, in the shortest possible time. The Child Protection Agency is very, very active. In very many places, you find that the children experience all kinds of challenges, and we are trying to address them. We have several children's homes. You might have learned that in 2016, I think it was, I wasn't minister then, the children's home at Hatfield Street was burned down and children lost their lives and so. In 2018, we are going to have a new center in Sophia. We've been able to acquire the land. The contract has been awarded, and we are going to have this center being built where we will be able to house at least 80 children. And we are also looking to put in that center quarters where you can have families, at minimum 4 families, until we kind of do our assessments and recommendations, etc. And then we'll know what to do with them. Now, in addition to those things, we have the Labor Department, for example, looks at labor matters, disputes. We're embarking on a lot of visitation for 2018 to workplaces because we believe that at these work sites you must have proper standards maintained and treatment and what have you. You know, a lot of issues come to us. People do not pay their workers NIS, overtime working, the conditions are not right and so on. And we are trying this year to address some of those problems so that our officers can visit and advise them in the first instance, you know, to put themselves in order so that they can treat our workers well. Now, with all of that, you have a number of other issues that the ministry focuses on. You have people in difficult circumstances who we look after. And they come to us, I can tell you, daily. Some people who want help with spectacles, with medicals, young people, some of them in terms of paying school fees. Sometimes things happen at their homes, providing toilet facilities, etc. And we help in all these things. Of course, we do assessment before we help. You just don't come and tell us that, look, I need help in X, Y, or Z, and we just dole out the money. You know, we do assessment. We have investigators in our ministry. They visit, they check it out, see what is happening, see whether you're telling the truth, because don't forget, sometimes some people like to use the system. And, you know, and then we try and help in whatever possible ways. We have very important, in 2017 we had $100 million under the SLED program. And we've been able to complete 20 projects under the SLED program in various regions, nearly all the regions. I think the only region that did not come forward was Region 6, where several people are being helped. We've been able to have over 1,000 beneficiaries for those 20 projects. And in 2018, we've been lucky. We got an additional 50 million. So we are going to have 150 million under this SLED program. And so we are going to be able to empower more women, more young people, have them involved in more projects so that, you know, you can help them. Also, the First Lady has been working very closely with us. And she has been doing a lot of training, capacity training, in various fields. And mostly female single parents. And in some cases, we have 1 or 2 males participating in it. But that program has been very, very progressive. And we have reached out to hundreds of females. And in a lot of cases, after the training, we are able to get them involved on the SLED program with these projects. And, you know, on the SLED, we have a lot of projects like pig farming, sheep rearing, chicken rearing, shade houses, cultivation, a number of things, manufacturing, sewing, all kinds of things. And so we're hoping that in 2018, we are going to be able to intensify those programs.
Okay, Minister. In terms of the Ministry of Social Protection, what are some of the initiatives, programs, training, etc., that will be undertaken to strengthen the capacity within the ministry, the different departments, personnel, etc.?
Well, training is ongoing. For example, our probation section, probation and social services section, we're doing a lot of capacity training so that they can be au fait with things like the Domestic Violence Act, any other thing relevant to the ministry, so that they are able to apply their knowledge, their skills, and so on, and techniques when they are dealing with people. You see, we have those offices. We have social services offices, child protection offices in all the regions. So we are trying to equip them with the kind of knowledge so that when they interface with the people out there, they are able to communicate the right thing, teach them what they should do, what they should not do. They must be familiar with what is happening in terms of the acts and so on. So yes, they are going to be going on with a lot of training. For example, in trafficking in persons, we've collaborated with the police, and we've had a lot of training for the police who have to deal with trafficking in persons in all the stations. Medical practitioners, because it's like a chain. You don't want to have a situation where a policeman don't know how to deal with certain situations. So we have been running, and we will continue to run in 2018, a number of programs that will equip them with the kind of knowledge necessary and relevant for these things.
And Minister, could we talk a little bit about the foster care program? I know, that has been a very important aspect for the ministry and childcare.
Well, November last month, I think it was foster care month, and I must tell you that under the aegis of the Child Protection Agency and Ms. Green, they have been doing a fine job in terms of getting foster parents and so on, training them, they too, to equip them with the kind of knowledge, what they must do and how they must operate, etc., for the parents who are foster parents.
Now, as we're on the topic of childcare, you have been an advocate for the education development in Guyana. Yeah. Could we talk a little bit about the overall benefits that will be accrued to Guyanese on the budget 2018 in the area of education broadly?
First of all, I think the Education Ministry has a fantastic program in dealing with education. We had this commission of inquiry for education, and right now I know that the Minister of Education is implementing all the recommendations that came out of that inquiry so that we can have an improved system, because you found that there were many situations where, for example, the NGSC, the results were poor in maths and so on. And I know that this year we have had a significant improvement. That is because of the impetus of the Ministry of Education and the recommendations that were made from the COI. Look, generally, regardless whether you come from the Ministry of Education, you come from the Ministry of Social Protection, or any ministry, education is necessary, because in whatever aspect, once you're educated, you're able to execute properly. So education is necessary, and we have been doing that.
And what are some of the things that Guyanese can look forward to under this government moving forward? We've spoken about the journey to the good life. What are some other things that Guyanese can look forward to?
I think, indeed, Guyanese can look forward to quite a lot, which we will consider the road to the good life. Improved education system, improved measures in the Ministry of Social Protection, improved service by the Ministry of Public Health. A lot of people talk about, oh, drugs not here, this, all kinds of things. I think that the Ministry of Health is doing a fantastic job in terms of getting drugs to several locations. I'm somebody who visits all the regions, and a lot of times the indigenous communities, and I can tell you that they are very, very happy. Only last week, I was in Paramakatoy, We were able to take Christmas cheers, for example, to the children. And you know what the people of Paramakatoy said to me? This is the first time ever that something like this has been done for Paramakatoy, not only from the perspective of the Ministry of Social Protection, but there is a lot of firsts in many of these regions. And so I will think that in a general sense, the people of this country can look forward to improved living conditions, improved services, improved education, and generally improved life, a good life for all. They may not be able to achieve it right now, but like the budget theme said, it's a journey.
Okay, Minister. And I know it's not necessarily your sector, but because given your role in government and the many areas that you've served in, what do you think about your general thoughts about the business climate in Guyana, business investment?
Now, let me say this to you. When it comes to business, I think that the business community are supportive of this government. The business community is pressured by the opposition to say and do quite a lot of things. I am friendly with a number of business personnel. And, you know, sometimes they feel that, well, they can't talk out. Look, even the private sector commission, they are pressured to give certain statements, you know. And I think that there is too much of political interference. Let it come, let it emanate directly from the business community. I can tell you that the business community is very supportive of us. You know, the president started the Bees initiative. It started with 3 Bs, it has gone to 5. And we have not spent a cent of government's money on that Bees program. Yet we are able to put in the country 26 buses, 9 boats, and thousands of bicycles, apart from breakfast and books and so on. But those 3 things, let me say this, it is the business community who has been supporting us. And I can tell you that the support is not going to stop. Now, this is because they have confidence in us. Because if they didn't have confidence in us, they would not have supported us, you know. Not only giving us the buses and boats and bicycles, but in and around the country. Look, I went to Parfaith Harmony recently, and people complained about not having adequate street lights and children coming home from lessons later. Believe you me, it was a businessman in that community who started by donating 9 street lights. I'm not quite sure whether they are installed yet, but they're there to be installed to ensure that the community is safe. But not only that, in a short while, we are going to commission a bus for the Parfaith people, the children there. A businessman has come forward and he says to me, Minister, I am going to build 3 bus sheds so that the children must not have to stand in the rain to get the bus. Now, things like that make you feel good, because if they didn't have confidence in us, they wouldn't come forward to do these things. Look, we are taking Christmas cheers to all the regions. And so we are mobilizing toys and goodies and so on for the children for Christmas time. And believe you me, not a cent came from government coffers. It is the business community that has supported us with the thousands of toys and the eatables for the children to have a good Christmas. Now tell me, wouldn't you say that the business community is with us? They have confidence in us, and so on. I've never heard them doing those things for the previous government, and I've been around for a very long time. You know, I have over 30 years service in Parliament, for example, and I've never heard the business community coming forward to do these things. You know, you hear a lot of talk from Minister Manik Chan about 10,000 cash grant. But hello, one child from the Pomeroon to get to school in 1 week is $5,000. So within 2 weeks, the $10,000 done. But what we have done is a forever. So one, we are ensuring that every child is in school, they can afford it. So things like child labor, etc., so you eliminate it, you know. So the $10,000 doesn't hold any water at this point in time. And the people, I can tell you, they prefer the service, you know.
Well, thank you, Minister. But before we wrap up the program, just your final comments as it relates to Budget 2018 and some final words to the Guyanese out there.
Yes. Now, final words to Budget 2018. I think that we are on the right road. We are going there, and we are going to provide this good life for the people of Guyana. We know that it is a journey. We know it's going to take time, but our intentions are good. And we know that the people of this country will benefit. We just want everybody to work with us, because this is the government, this coalition government is going to give them the kind of progress they deserve, the kind of good life they deserve. It is only this coalition government that will give them that kind of life. And that is because of the programs that we have.
Thank you very much, Minister Ali, and thank you very much, viewers, for staying tuned. Join us again for another segment of Budget in Focus. Stacey Carmichael saying goodbye.